What is going on, you guys? Bleeds over here at Blue Chip Athletic Club. Today we're talking mobility only. I am incredibly sore from my training sessions yesterday, so we're going to get into it. We're going to go upper body, mobility, what you're going to need, a couple different tools. Some of these are not necessary, but I'm going to have them anyway and show you kind of how I'm going to start to continue to work on my golfer's elbow as well as kind of roll out the rest of my body. So I've got a lacrosse ball here. You can use baseball, softball, racquetball, whatever you kind of want. I've got my foam roller of doom. You can use a normal foam roller if you so choose. I'm going to have one of these little disc sliders out as well. These are like $10 on Amazon, and this is just going to be for one of our moves to kind of keep me honest in a position. You can also use like a flat little weight, probably nothing more than like 2.5 or so pounds will probably be good. And then the last kind of weird piece of equipment is a TheraBand. If you're somebody who has golfer's elbow, I definitely recommend getting yourself one of these to kind of help you work that out, and we'll talk about that when we get there. And I'm going to use a band as well that I've got mounted to the rack behind me. So we're going to get into it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to grab ourselves a bench, set it up nice and close, and we're going to roll our biceps and triceps here. So I'm going to pop up, I'm going to start with my bicep. My left arm is going to be off the side of the bench. My lacrosse ball is going to be down here on the bench. And I'm basically just going to get myself onto the bench. I'm just going to roll, oh my gosh, on top of that bicep. Now, if you have your foam roller handy and you're not somebody who has a lacrosse ball or one of those other balls, you can use your foam roller instead. But I like the lacrosse ball because it's going to get you a little bit more triggered attention. And again, you can see how what I'm doing now is I'm kind of moving the ball along the bench. What this is doing is it's letting me get into different parts of the bicep here. And I'm kind of just working. I'm going to move my palm around. Oh my gosh, it's so tight. And I can even get all the way up into the shoulder and even to the chest if I want as I get really close. Oh. So you're going to work. I like to set like a minute timer for all these movements, but this video will be a follow along because I need the work myself. So no timer required if you want to just kind of go with me. Oh, baby. Okay, so we go bicep on the left. We'll go bicep on the right now. So I'm going to pop this puppy over here. Oh, now this side is actually tighter than the other side. Oh, man. And again, I'm just kind of working, doing some discovery and figuring out what spot is tight and then giving that spot a little bit more attention and time. Oh, trying to get my weight on the ball as much as I can. Oh, boy. Working all the way up into the chest, into the shoulder, and then all the way back down towards the elbow. Oh, baby. So whenever you're kind of ready, we're going to transition over to our tricep roll, which we're going to do the same thing. Now we're going to use the ball just on the backside of the arm. So I'm going to start palms up. Now my triceps going to be here on the bench, and now I'm just going to kind of get in here. And again, I'm just kind of rolling it around. I'm starting down by the elbow. Notice how my palm is kind of moving through space here too. Oh my gosh. And I'll just kind of work all over and around. Oh my gosh. So if you're somebody who has golfer's elbow or tennis elbow, your problem likely is in the tissue above or below the joint, not necessarily in your elbow. Mine, I think, is in my tricep. I'm not sure exactly what's wrong yet, but we're working on it. Oh. So I give this one a little extra attention as I work all the way up into the shoulder, and then I'm going to switch sides. So again, tricep roll set up. lacrosse ball here under the backside of your elbow, and then you're just rolling here. Oh boy, this ball's a little greasy, so it wants to like jump on me. Oh, brand new lacrosse ball is a little better. It's got a little more grip to it. Oh my gosh. Oh. Okay, so you got your bicep and tricep roll. Oh, that's enough for now. Come back to it if you need to. We're going to move on to our lat roll. This is the one where you're going to need the full foam roller, nice, close, and handy. We're going to get into this. I'm going to start on my right side, and, we're going to be sporting the blue chip calendar for January pose. So you'll notice I'm going to have this foam roller here under my armpit. I'm going to push it all the way back so that I have only a little bit of space on the front side of my body and more on the back. So the more, I like to say, more real estate of the foam roller is behind you because you're going to lay back onto it. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to keep my right arm, well, it's really hard to see with this bench here, so I'm going to slide that out of the way just a bit. I'm going to try to keep my right arm as straight as I can. So this right arm is going to be really, really straight in the right armpit. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my top shoulder to kind of guide me through. So I'm going to bring it all the way down, like I'm going to roll onto my stomach and do a push-up. And then I'm bringing my shoulder all the way back up. Oh my gosh. Like I'm going to open up to the sky. And then I'm going to come back to neutral. And it's important now that you're back to neutral is to roll a little bit down towards your hips. Like this. Boom. I'm going to go down like an inch or two. And then I'm going to repeat that pattern. Close it off. Roll it all the way up. And you'll notice your lats are probably incredibly tight. Mine are. We did a bunch of pull-ups yesterday. So this is really uncomfortable for me. Oh my gosh. And again, you're going to work all the way down, taking a little bit of I like to say a little bite out of your muscle there. So working from, your armpit crease down towards your hips. Now there's a position, and I'm pretty much there, where your lat ends and your rib cage kind of takes over, and that's where it gets really uncomfortable to do this. Not like uncomfortable from hitting muscle, but uncomfortable from it hitting bone. You'll probably know where that's at. Once you hit it, I'd like you to go back up. So now I'm going to go back the other way, down a little bit, and roll. Oh. And again, I'm just going to work all the way down. Oh. All the way through. Once I've gone down and up, I'm going to switch sides. Again, big keys. You're getting into December of the blue chip calendar pose on the other side. You're going to close your, let me get back up. Real estate for the foam roller, just a little bit in front. Left arm as straight as I can. And then that guiding shoulder. Oh my gosh. Whoever said mobility and foam rolling isn't hard is a liar. Oh. So this shoulder is the side of my golfer's elbow. And something that I've noticed is that my shoulder is a little tight as well. So again, I know I said above and below the joint is typically problem areas. So my physical therapist and I have just recently started to see the link between shoulder tightness and my golfer's elbow that has kind of migrated into tricep tendonitis, I think. So we're going to keep working through that stuff, and I'll keep updating you guys as I kind of get more information on how it's going. Okay, so down and up again on the lat. Again, if you have a side that's a little tighter than the other, please don't be afraid to give it a little bit more love and attention. But we're going to move on to our scorpions, alternating scorpions. So to get into this, I'm going to pop this off so I don't eat it. We're going to lay down on our stomach. Oh. And now I'm going to throw my hands out to the side. I'm going to pick up my left foot and try and touch, or right foot, excuse me, try and touch my left hand. Oh. And then I'm going to switch sides. And you can just go at your own pace. I'm not going to tell you when to go. Oh, and if you want to, you can bring the opposite side hand in, try and grab your foot, try and get a nice big push and stretch side to side. Oh, I usually get a couple good back cracks, but I didn't get one today, which is a bummer. Oh, and as you work through it, you'll probably open up a bit. This is helping your spinal mobility. It's helping your hips, your shoulders. This is one of my favorite moves. It's great. It's really nice. Oh. Okay. After you work through your alternating scorpions, we're going to get into our shoulder waiters. Now, the way these are going to work, I think this thing's good here. The way these are going to work is I'm going to grab that flat weight or that little disc that you have if you decided to get yourself one of those or you have one of those laying around. And we're going to get our shoulder mobility on now. Big keys for this, you want to try and keep it as flat as you can. So I'm going to work my right side to start. My left hand is going to go on my left hip. My right arm's going to be out, and I'm holding this like a pizza plate or flat serving dish, like I'm a waiter at a restaurant, hence the name. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that plate in towards my armpit, and then I'm going to come out behind my body and then up and over my head. Oh, and make a nice big circle. Now, if you're doing this and your hips are doing this kind of number to keep the plate flat, you're kind of missing the point. The goal is to try and keep this hand on the hip, stay nice and honest with your position, and try not to adjust your hips so that you can hold the plate. So then we're going to go again here, and I'm not perfect at it either, especially when I'm tight. Oh, but the goal is to just kind of work through that full range of motion if you can and not drop the plate, which no promises I may do. But that's okay. It's part of learning. Oh, okay, so after you've gone a couple times on one side or close to your minute, you can switch. Now I'm going to be in here. Again, plate in towards the armpit. Up and around. Oh my gosh. We're incredibly tight. Oh, and again, just trying to keep it nice and flat. And you're going to work through your full range of motion, whatever that is. If you do need to move your hips right away, that's totally fine. But just know that what you're doing the whole time you're in this move is you're fighting to try and be upright. Oh, because you are going to notice imbalances side to side. So after our shoulder waders, what I want you to do is I want you to grab your band. So my band is mounted to this rack in front of me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a tricep stretch in now. The way I'm going to do this is hopefully the rack doesn't want to jump on me, because before it has wanted to do that. I'm basically just getting my hand on the rack or hand on the band, letting it pull behind me, and I'm just stepping in and I'm just leaning into this stretch here. And this is actually getting lat. It's also getting tricep at the back, and you can really, really hit this and get a nice lean, which is really helpful. And then after you've had enough on one side, you'll switch again, just kind of leaning into this. Trying to get it to pull back. Now, if for some reason you're having a hard time doing that, what you can do as well is you can grab yourself a band and you can just go like old school, like behind the back, where you used to just try and touch your hands behind your back, which I feel like a bear trying to scratch his back now. I can't do it. But you'll be here just kind of holding that stretch here on one side. You can also use a PVC pipe, broomstick, kind of whatever you got hanging around the house. We'll pop up here, grab nice and close on the band, and then pull. And this is also going to get you that tricep. work there. Oh, okay. The next move we're going to hit up is going to be with our TheraBar. Now, this thing is not necessary. It's something that I was hoping would expedite my recovery. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. But what it does do is it gives you kind of a medium to know kind of if you're making progress, because they give you a couple different colors if you buy the pack. So TheraBar is really nice. What I'm doing is I'm training a ton of forearm strength, trying to get kind of my elbow back at it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the TheraBar kind of like a motorcycle handle. So I got like both palms facing down, and I'm going to go twist. This is called the Tyler twist. Essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab it like I'm going to wring out a towel, and I'm going to wring that towel out, and then I'm just going to slowly bring my wrist back. So I'm building tension through the TheraBar, and then I'm letting that tension release. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't want to buy one of these, which I don't blame you, what you can do is you can grab a towel or a t-shirt or whatever, and you're basically doing like towel rings over and over again, side to side, right? That's going to do the same thing. And then what I want you to do is I want you to play with your wrist position. Now, I was going wrist down for a bit, and then you can go wrist up on one side as well. And what you're doing is you're just trying to get a good twist, and you're trying to stretch out here across the front of the forearm. And then when your palms are facing down, you're trying to stretch out through the back of the forearm here through that whole movement. So there's that move there. It's going to help you with your golfer's elbow. You can then come down here and bend the bar down and in, which you can go down and in, palms down. You can go up here, palms up. And then the last move that we've been doing a ton of is we've been doing a ton of making sure that we're pressing this into the floor. So I've got just my left hand on the TheraBand, pressing it into the ground. And now I'm just going to kind of bend it over, up and back, and then switch sides, or I'm going the opposite direction. It's more helpful if you do that up on a box, but that's a little bit of TheraBand work to end it. So what I'd like to do is go through all those movement patterns, 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, whatever you have time for. Try and make sure that you're getting some movement in today, especially if your upper body is sore. This is the session for you. Good luck. Let us know how you guys do. See you in the next one. Peace.